Today we have Aman Batra from Genetrix Technology. How's it going, Aman?
Hi, John. It's going great. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and actually, thank you because you actually reached out to me. We connect on LinkedIn. I hope people do this. But just some general background. I know a lot of the stuff that you do is heavy marketing cloud, and when we were chatting, we were discussing how marketing cloud is kind of lately maybe hasn't gotten the acknowledgement and the craziness and the excitement of like Agent Force and AI and data cloud and all that kind of stuff. And we thought it'd be a good topic to have today because it's one of the things that you specialize in. So I'm pumped to have you on today.
Yeah, same here. Look forward to.
Yep. So I guess to start up and back up, how did you get introduced into the Salesforce ecosystem? What's the background?
Okay. I think sort of it was handed to me on a plate. I did not get to choose it. I started my Salesforce career as a support representative back in 2018. I was one of those people who would call you when you raise a support ticket and just trouble you within that day. So from there onwards, I moved from role of support consultant to an architect within 5 or 6 years or so period. For a brief period of time, I worked as an independent architect for marketing cloud projects, enterprise projects, and then prior to founding the consulting firm which I'm running today, Genetrix Technology, I worked with a nonprofit called UNICEF, which was sort of a life changing moment for me, working for a United Nations organization. That was one of the first time in my career I got to work with such a huge environment like a Amazon sort of environment in terms of CRM analogy, sort of a environment. And yeah, I got to learn a lot from there. Then that gave me confidence to start something on my own, and that's what I've been doing for last 3 years.
That's awesome. So would you consider it like an accidental, when people say the accidental admin or they accidentally kind of fell into the Salesforce ecosystem,
Yeah,
is that what happened back then? Did you kind of fall into it and have to learn on your own and do self-training and all that stuff?
that's true. I think I fell into it by accident, but staying within the ecosystem and understanding and trying to unravel the right path was a challenge for me, and it is challenge. And only people who sort of, I think it worked out fine for me because I had the market intuition. I From the initial days I understood what's right, what's wrong from the outside market perspective. If you look at it, I think, okay, let me put it this way. I was given Marketing Cloud as a platform on a plate, right? But understanding that this is the right place to be was my choice. I always had an option to move on to Salesforce. Everybody back in 2018, everybody wanted to move into Salesforce because that was the real platform, right? Everybody wanted to be a Salesforce developer. Nobody wanted to stick to Marketing Cloud because people looked at it as a small basic email sending platform, right? But I think because of the intuition of the market I had, I was able to see where this is going, and I understood that this is going to turn out well for me at some point. And I just understood the power of MarTech and marketing automation and marketing cloud as a system back then. So that's why I stick with it. That's why I was able to find my way within the marketing cloud ecosystem, which kept on growing as I stick with it, right? I think it's not how it looked in 2018, right? There was just one platform, but now it's a jungle, right? If you want me, I can go and talk more about the sort of the arrangement, the ecosystem that Marketing Cloud has today in a little bit more
Absolutely.
detail.
I'd love to hear about the jungle because I know we chatted briefly, even Pardot, and I did Pardot, I mean, as recently as last year and stuff. I would love to hear about the jungle, what we got going on in the marketing cloud area.
I think what's going on is, oh, okay, people don't realize it from outside, and even we as consulting folks also tend to forget that Marketing Cloud has become an umbrella term. It's not a single platform anymore. I think Salesforce account executives understand it very, very well. They tend to use the word which favors them once in a while, but it's an umbrella term. Under Marketing Cloud umbrella, there are 5 platforms which exist. There's Marketing Cloud Engagement, which is the core exact target Marketing Cloud, which was acquired by Salesforce way back in 2000s, right? That's what is still mostly referred to as Marketing Cloud, but that's not it. We have Marketing Cloud Account Engagement, which was earlier called Harder. We have Marketing Cloud Personalization, which was earlier called Interaction Studio. We have Marketing Cloud Intelligence, which was earlier called Datorma, right? So Salesforce kept on acquiring these companies and on adding them under the umbrella of Marketing Cloud. And now they're building on Marketing Cloud Growth, which is all another topic I'm going to talk about if you get a chance on this conversation. So yeah, these are the 5 products which exist right now.
So is it do customers need to pick like one main one and they get a la carte like two other ones, or do they typically have all of them, or how does it do they usually just have one, or what is a typical makeup of a clients or someone using Marketing Cloud umbrella? What does a typical one look like?
I think all of them are different SKUs. If you buy one, you don't get the other one for free, right? Usually, customer in between these two, account engagement and marketing cloud engagement, customer usually pick just one, not both, because marketing cloud engagement is mostly centered for B2C market, and it's for enterprise clients, huge organizations who have a lot of processes, a lot of people who are going to play in the marketing battlefield. On the other hand, marketing cloud account engagement is more centered for B2B. So they pick, usually they pick one of these two, not almost never both. And for marketing cloud personalization and Determa, they are separate SKUs. If an organization is interested to have dynamic web personalization, they can go for marketing cloud personalization, which is really powerful tool. It sort of integrate your existing legacy marketing channels like email, SMS, push notification, all these to your website. So now your marketing automation platform has an intuition of website. It understands what people are doing on the website and acts on that. So if somebody, let's say, hover over a landing page and on a specific section which says, "Hi, this is me," based on that information, they just hover for 5 seconds and you have a counter there. So if they hover for between 3 to 5 seconds, you can put a trigger and send a communication right away or start an action on that.
You know, interesting story. So I'm kind of, because you mentioned 2017, 2018. So my wife and I actually went to Dreamforce around the 2017 timeframe when they started talking about these capabilities in Marketing Cloud.
Yeah.
And like the one you just mentioned, it's crazy, right? Like, especially back then, it's like my
Yeah.
wife and I looked at each other going, "Oh my gosh, like this is what we're experiencing, like surfing the internet or when we see ads show up." And like that time, that was like when it became real for all of us. And I think you were likely saw, like you mentioned as well, like the capabilities and the analytics and the things you can do with with that data and that
Mhm.
knowledge. Um, it's pretty awesome, right? So I'm assuming that's what probably motivated you to get into it when
Yeah.
you saw that.
That is
Um,
correct.
so what were some of the challenges that you had when you were starting out? I mean, you were kind of an
Hmm.
admin by
Hmm.
accident. You were getting into Marketing Cloud. What were some of the challenges you experienced working through um, becoming like a Marketing Cloud implementer and admin and all that?
I think one of the challenges that me and all of my colleagues who started at that time faced, especially specifically for Marketing Cloud, was that Marketing Cloud did not have a proper ecosystem or set of resources at that time. Uh, there were there were help documentation, but was very limited. There were sort of literally no videos on tutorial or anything like that at that point. So you had to figure out your way on your own. But because I was into the support role, I had a lot of support. Obviously, in support, you get to have support, right? So I had a lot of support around me, which came into my favor. But as an ecosystem, it was challenging to be because of the limited resource. But John, now when I'm look back at it in retrospect, though it was a challenge, but at the same time, the same thing was our leverage as well. Because Marketing Clouds is a closed ecosystem, there are no sandboxes and everything.
Right.
Uh, there was restriction in terms of resource. Not everybody could create tutorial and resources. At the same time, it played in our favor because there is an entry barrier. Lack of sandbox act as an entry barrier, which worked in some of our favor, right? Uh, Especially, see, I live in India, right? There are millions of people who are smarter than me, who are more capable and hardworking than me. So this entry barrier sort of helped us grow a little bit faster than we would have in the parallel world. So yeah, it was a challenge. It was a challenge, but it also worked in our favor. Now, when I'm looking at it in retrospect.
Yeah, because part of Marketing Cloud, that whole side of things, right? I think I know the answer, but the reason that you don't get sandbox environments and you can't test, I'm assuming the answer is because then you could be using it for live emails to people, right? Essentially, so if you were able to use it as like a test sandbox and email people, is that why there isn't sandboxes or test environments for like marketing type implementations? Is because you could theoretically use it as a live production environment by just testing,
No,
or
I
is there
think
more to it?
I think there's more to it because if you want to put restriction in terms of outbound campaign that you send, you can always put. Email is also there in SMS. Sorry, SMS. Emails are functionality is also available in Salesforce Sales Cloud. but there is a restriction. If you take a dummy demo from Trailhead, you get to have only 10 email sends, right? So you can set up these barriers. I think Salesforce never worked towards setting up the sandbox for the developers. And maybe I think looking at it from a very far-fetched view, because their motivation was always to merge these platforms into one Lightning Core platform as it is today, which is where they are trying to go with Marketing Cloud growth, because that was their agenda from a long time back. I think they did not put a lot of focus, time, and efforts to come up with the sandbox for Marketing Cloud, because they knew at some point we'll merge it all in Lightning. And for Lightning, you already have a sandbox available. So now for Marketing Cloud growth, you will have a sandbox, right? And they don't even need a sandbox for Marketing Cloud engagement anymore, because it will get subsided at some point.
Right, right. So marketing, I mean, we kind of touched on it. So marketing cloud used to be kind of the talk of the town, right? Again, back 2017, 2018. Why do you think it's not getting as much attention nowadays in 2024 and going into 2025?
Right. I think I sort of have a really interesting, or might be a little bit controversial answer for this, right? Some people like it, some people not. It could be a little bit scary as well. I think Salesforce created a hype for Marketing Cloud growth for a while. I think last year or last to last year, there was a lot of hype around Marketing Cloud growth, right? A lot of keynotes and everything. Right now, it's getting subsided by Agent Force and Data Cloud and everything. I think they want to do it because they want to push Marketing Cloud growth forward and forward. And one more thing we need to keep in mind here is, when we say Agent Force, it does not belong just to Salesforce Sales Cloud or just to Salesforce Service Cloud. It also belongs to Marketing Cloud growth. Salesforce Agent Force functionality, a lot of its LMM capabilities applies to Marketing Cloud growth. Even today, if you go to Marketing Cloud growth, you can write a prompt to create a segmentation and it will do that, right? So Agent Force doesn't belong to just these three. It lives on Marketing Cloud growth as well. And I think right now, I don't think Salesforce want to create a lot of noise around Marketing Cloud, so they can gradually shift people, end users, customers towards Marketing Cloud growth, which they have been looking. And I think one problem and one situation that it's going to create, challenge it's going to create, is for Marketing Cloud consultant who have worked for years and years to build up their skills on Marketing Cloud engagement platform, right? Because once this shift happen, which it'll happen eventually, right? Why would Salesforce build two different Marketing Cloud platforms, Marketing Cloud growth and engagement? They want this shift to happen. And once this shift happen, our skills will become, I'm not going to say will become redundant, but it will become less lucrative. And suddenly you'll be competing. I'm saying this because a lot of Marketing Cloud consultant and developer are going to watch this podcast. These guys, and including me and my colleagues, will be competing with a lot of Salesforce developer and administrator out there, because Marketing Cloud growth is part of Lightning, and all of these people already know Lightning, right? So we lose our niche that we have. And at that point, when that happens, only thing that will come for our rescue is going to be our industry and business expertise. So the way I can put it is going to be that, for example, I'm going to give you an example. In Marketing Cloud, journeys are very famous. All Marketing Cloud expert call themselves journey builders, right? In Marketing Cloud growth, there is nothing called journey. They have marketing flow builder, and you will be building campaigns on flow. So when this transition happens in terms of skill sets, it's not going to matter how expert you are in the journey builder. It's going to matter how expert you are in building the campaigns, how well you can understand the customer requirement for your industry. So I think it's high time that as Marketing Cloud expert, we start to look ourselves more as a as a overall martech consultant and understand the industry and have start to pick the industry knowledge rather than just sticking to the platform, because the platform is shifting. I think it's better that we also start to change.
That's extremely interesting. So if for a lot of folks out there that don't know the difference between engagement and growth, I know you kind of touched on it. So can you recap again? What's the this? It sounds like flows versus journey. What's the other major differences between engagement and growth, just for people that are trying to learn and understand this side of things?
I think biggest difference is, okay, Salesforce acquired Exit Target in 2000, right? It always had been a separate platform, and that brought a lot of challenges around integrations. Though it has an out-of-the-box integration with Sales Cloud, but it did not have a lot of other integrations. To give an example, with Marketing Cloud engagement, the platform has been there for 20 years. Huge enterprise customers use this platform, right? Now, if I want to have a app installed from App Exchange, barely any, very limited applications exist that directly integrates with marketing. I don't think Salesforce even want to promote that, because even today, you can't publish a marketing cloud application for free. I tried it. We can't do it, right? And I have published some paid applications. So Salesforce does not want to promote this App Exchange ecosystem that you have for marketing cloud. So that is a challenge. The ecosystem, integration ecosystem. By moving to marketing cloud growth, because marketing cloud growth lives on the Lightning, along with Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, the integration becomes a lot easier. So I think that's one of the key difference, that one sits on Lightning and one is whole another platform which Salesforce bought way back in 2000 called ExitTarget.
So how do customers navigate this? How do how, how do customers end up navigating which direction to go? Or again, we talked about Pardot, all these other things. Yeah. How do the clients or customers, or how do you help your customers navigate through
I
this
think
sea?
marketing cloud growth, though it's picking up fast, it's picking up a lot faster than I had expected. I remember having some of the conversation with my clients maybe 2 years back, and I would say, we are safe, right? Marketing cloud uh, is an independent platform. It will stay like that, but marketing cloud growth happened a lot faster than I'd expected, right? In last 1.5 year, they first launched marketing cloud growth, then they launched marketing cloud growth advanced, right? So I think right now the way I would approach this dilemma for my customers is gonna be how fast you want to scale your activities, right? What are your use cases? There are still, though marketing cloud growth is doing fast, it's still nothing compared to marketing cloud engagement. Marketing cloud growth cannot be used for enterprise customer even today. If you have a team of 200 folks, and if you have 4 departments, if you have different departments for content creation, campaign management, I'm not going to recommend you marketing cloud growth. I will still recommend you marketing cloud engagement. It's of course it's expensive, etc. Right now. But yeah, this is suitable for you because you're an enterprise customer. Tomorrow things might change. Tomorrow Salesforce might be able to scale marketing cloud growth to an extent where even it's suited for enterprise customer. Then everything would change. Then of course everybody will recommend marketing cloud growth because it lives on Lightning and it has seamless integration with all Salesforce ecosystem solutions.
So when we talk like B2C, B2B, right, selling business to business versus selling sneakers to a consumer, right,
Mhm.
on a train, right, with their
Right.
phone, are there some products that make more sense for B2B versus B2C? Because I know Pardot at one point, or kind of feels like more B2B. Marketing Cloud was kind of, I thought, even more B2C, right? I always think sneakers. I don't know why. Just like
Yeah,
easy things like that, right?
a good
Well,
example.
from like a B2B to B2C perspective, is there differences on what the best platform is for those two between B2B and B2C?
I think I think there is no argument around that. For B2B, Pardot is a lot more suitable. Marketing cloud account engagement is a lot more suitable because only this provides functionalities which are up, and especially out of the box functionalities which are very well applied to B2B market and lead scoring, right? It's a good example. Pardot marketing cloud account engagement has out of the box lead scoring, which even today marketing cloud does not. You can end up building a custom solution within marketing cloud to approach this problem. You can do that, and there are solution out there in market, third party solution like SalesWing is a solution which is a very well known company out there which provide this lead scoring for marketing cloud. But at the same time, I want to highlight, if and there is a caveat here for companies who are into both segments. For example, Amazon, they are into B2B and B2C both. Marketing cloud becomes a perfect solution. Though marketing cloud is first built for B2C, it offers it's only platform in Salesforce ecosystem which such capabilities to build custom solution on top of it. You have M scripting where you can write code. You have SQL. You have APIs. Very well API structured, using which you can build custom solution and even pursue the B2B use cases. So if your company is on the middle, you want to pursue both use cases of B2B and B2C, go with marketing cloud engagement. You will have all the B2C use cases, and for some specific B2B use cases, you can always for a custom solution working with an agency or a marketing cloud developer.
Interesting. So then, what misconceptions do you feel clients and customers have about Marketing Cloud and the suite of apps? What are some of the misconceptions you see that clients and customers have out there?
Okay. I think one of the biggest misconception that I see customer even today having is that they end up using Marketing Cloud just an email sending platform, like Mailchimp, where they dump data
Right.
into it and they start to send email, right? It
Right.
should not be like that. And because of this mentality and this philosophy that they deal with, they look at it as a platform where you log in the day you want to send an email, right? They do not approach the implementation with the sort of intensity and brainstorming that they should, because they wait for their first email campaign where they need to. And when that happens, they build the campaigns, they build the templates, they build the segments on the fly, and they do it. They're able to do it. I'm not saying they will not be able to. They will do it. In another month, they have another campaign. They again build it. Over a period of time, this creates huge technical debt for them, because they're creating these segments, these assets over and over again for each campaign, right? This create technical debt. This wastes a lot of time. This wastes a lot of resources. On the contrary, what they need to do is they need to plan this out from the day one. They need to spend a big chunk of the time for the implementation. Like there's a uh, like how you should. So there you should invest good amount of time in the implementation, build the solid foundation. So building on top of this foundation gets easier. Your day-to-day activities will get easier. So instead of investing 5 hours on a single campaign, you will invest just 1 hour on the campaign to go live, because you have invested 50 hours on the implementation on the day one. That's one misconception I wanna talk about, where we know people need to stop looking at it as just an email sending platform or marketing automation platform. It deserves a good implementation. That's one. Second thing I'm going to highlight is a lot of customers actually run away from Marketing Cloud. And because I'm involved very frequently into the sales conversation, where customers talk to us between Braze, Eloqua, and Marketing Cloud, they go away from Marketing Cloud because there's a misconception that it requires hardcore development knowledge to run on it. And I think they are not wrong when they are saying it, because they have seen that's how it's going. They have seen organization relying a lot on development resources. They have seen organization who are using Marketing Cloud relying on agency on a daily day-to-day basis for tech work. They are right, because they have seen it outside. But that's not true. I think that this burden gets created on tech when you don't have the right implementation in place from the day one. As I said, I think I'm joining back to my last point. If you have a solid foundation, if you have the right data modeling in place, if you have the right structure for email templates, cloud pages in place, you will barely have to rely on any development or technical knowledge on a day-to-day level. Once in a while, you will have to revisit, of course, and change this entire architecture or work and enhance this entire architecture. But this will sort of reduce your burden or dependency on a technical resource or a technical agency from, let's say, 100% to barely 5%. So these are the two
So,
misconceptions.
it's from what you're saying, it's really majority configuration, not customization. So it's not as, I guess, scary, not involved as what they think, right? It's not going to take a lot of development, but it's really, I wouldn't call it admin, but it's more configuration,
Yes.
understanding
Mhm.
templates and I suppose
Yeah.
A/B testing and like
Mhm.
journeys and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And
Um,
this is to add to this, John. I think this is the role and responsibility of partners, Salesforce partner like myself, to ensure that customer does not have to even write a single line of code, right? If they are writing code after our work is done, then we are failure, right? It's our responsibility to configure the system in a way that they're able to achieve almost everything which falls under their business use case with point and click.
that's awesome. And then so back to your first misconception, what what is preventing the clients or the business or from spending that upfront time to really think through the entire implementation? Is it because they just want to send the emails out first and do more of an iterative, like let's first work on getting the emails out and then we'll worry about the second part, and then let's do the second part and then we'll worry about the third part? Is it that they just don't want to? Is it because they don't understand what to do? Is it because they don't want to spend the time on it? Is it because they don't know how the initial iterations are going to actually work out and they might want to
Mhm.
pivot? I guess, what are
Mhm.
your thoughts on why they don't spend that upfront time and want
I
to do
think
like,
sometimes it also happens because of on the organization level, there is a disconnect between the leaders. There is a leader who pursued Salesforce as a platform because they wanted to scale their customer relationship, scale their customer engagement. They want to do better on that front. On the other hand, there is a middle management or the tech team who is not as aspirational as the leader who took the decision to pursue Salesforce. So there is a disconnect in between how deep they want to go in terms of providing value to their customer. That's one thing. Second thing I'm going to say is the this problem also arises when our customer starts to think like a techie, where they are, they become, or I think this goes both ways, where sometimes partners like us and other consulting firms also make them responsible and push them to think like techie, which is really, really bad. And also we also make them responsible for the entire strategy, right? In fact, anybody who joined my company, I first on the day one, I teach them never go to a client of mine asking what do they want. If they know what do they want, they don't need us. It's our job to
Right.
ensure and build the picture, build the vision, working with them, of course, build the vision on what can be achieved, what's good for them. It has to be a two-way effort rather than just asking them what do they want. So my recommendation is customer needs to stop thinking like a techie. There has to be a collaboration in terms of building out the strategy and plan. And as a techie, as my team, we need to start thinking like a business. And once that starts to happen, customer stop thinking like a techie and we start to think like a business, I think this problem will sort of get sorted.
That is such an interesting topic, not related to Marketing Cloud, but a lot of partners do like the mastermind. We have people
Mhm.
starting their consultancies. That is very wise the way you mentioned that, right? On what you guide your team members and your company, right? Don't ask them what they want. Um, how did you learn that, and why is that so important? I mean, just to expand a little bit, that's to go off Marketing Cloud for a couple of minutes. That's a really interesting conversation. How did you come to that? How did you learn that, and why is it so important?
I think I think like other folks also, people usually learn that when they come out of this tech bubble, right? We techie sort of either get restrained into this bubble and start to think really, really tech focused. And some people just don't get opportunities, I know. But at the same time, I'm gonna blame them a little. You need to break the wall if you're not getting the opportunity. You need to push your manager to pull you into the discovery calls. If you are sort of middle senior into the marketing cloud, being there 5 years, you need to push your senior or team lead to pull you into some of the sales conversation as well. If they are not pulling you, you need to push them to pull you, right? And once that happens, of course, you don't do great at the first time. When you get pulled into one of the discovery conversation, you are there, you end up, and it's a risky place to be, because once you have committed that in discovery, you can't take back. So you will end up making mistake once in a while, but with a sincere heart, and there is nothing that a sincere apology can't solve. So yeah, go there, take some risk, go to the discovery call, talk about it, try to understand their picture, and see, let them know what you can deliver, right? And after a while, you will start to brainstorm and think gradually like a business. Once you see, of course, every business is different, but at the same time, every business is little similar also. If you have talked with 10 clients, you know how the conversation will go with the 11th client, and you will be prepared for it. So that's what I'm going to say. Go break that wall, go more into the sales conversation, discovery conversation, and the similar sort of conversation which happens around business.
It makes sense because the clients are bringing you in as the Marketing Cloud experts, right? You guys should know these things. Guys should be looking 5 steps ahead. That's why they bring you in. You are the experts, right? I think it's a very powerful thing for people starting businesses, consultancies
Mhm.
to remember. You got to have that
Yeah.
confidence. You need to go in there. They
Mhm.
brought you in as the expert, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So back to just one quick question. Back to the Marketing Cloud side. Where do you think Pardot's going?
Where do you think Pardot is going? I think Pardot has a place of its own in ecosystem, right? Even today, when it comes to B2B use cases, Pardot works really, really well. And because of the price difference between Marketing Cloud and Pardot, it becomes a really, really good place for a lot of organizations to be in, because there's a huge difference in terms of pricing. I think both of these platforms have a golden future, right? Though Marketing Cloud has a good future, but we don't know yet in terms of Marketing Cloud engagement or in terms of Marketing Cloud growth. But Pardot for sure have a good future because it's already sit on Lightning. So I think yeah, both will work out fine.
Yeah, I always joke. I log into Pardot every few months. I'm like, nothing ever looks different. I'm not to make fun of Pardot, but it's like, man, are they
Yeah.
going to do anything different in here? It looks the same.
One thing I'm going to add is I think this thing also will apply when our Marketing Cloud engagement gets merged with Lightning and become Marketing Cloud growth. Because once that happens, this become one platform, and on this one platform, all the innovation that happens applies to the entire Lightning platform. So they don't get to say specifically Pardot or mark account engagement. For example, I'm going to tell you, you said Agent Force, right? Agent Force applies to Pardot as well because it sits on Lightning, but they don't need to say it. It's by default applicable. So I think it's like that. Once all these platforms get merged into single Lightning platform, they will just say sales marketing service. That's it. They will not even. I don't think they will even call the names of the products after that. I think this, one interesting thing I want to point out. You can see this philosophy in working out even in this year's Dreamforce. If you go to YouTube and look at the names of the YouTube videos they published, they barely mentioned any name except Agent Force and Data Cloud.
Right.
It's all about business problems, right? Sales, marketing. They did not put Sales Cloud. They just put sales. So I think they are trying to go forward towards this philosophy where they talk about problem and use cases, not the product.
Makes sense. So I know we talked about internal Salesforce products. How does the Marketing Cloud suite of apps, we'll call it, compare to non-Salesforce marketing apps out there from your perspective?
Interesting. So you're saying outside platforms, right? Platform
Right.
outside Salesforce ecosystem.
Like other,
I
like
think
other similar
sense.
platforms. Yeah.
Mhm. I think again, being in a lot of these sales conversation, I see one edge that Marketing Cloud gets among all these different platforms out there, Braze, Eloqua, and all of these various platforms is that the 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 sort of compliance, regulatory compliance, regional compliance, right, certifications, etc. These compliance, the Salesforce adhere to the standard which other companies don't. There are still, I think I was reading a couple of days back that this SOC 2 Type 2 certification, Salesforce is one of the very few companies who have this certification, compliance certification, and various other marketing automation platforms do not. So I think that's one place where Salesforce get an edge, and because of this age, a lot of companies, because they want to they want to stick to these compliance, Salesforce become one of their first options to pick from because it does this compliance thing very well. Another thing I can think of why a lot of enterprise customers get pulled towards Salesforce Marketing Cloud or even Salesforce in general as a platform is there are, I think we don't look at it like this, but in SaaS, there are huge network effects coming to the picture, coming to the play, right? We always look at network effect as a theory when it comes to services like Uber or something where, one new taxi driver add value to the old taxi driver, right? Because their average cost go down and their efficiency increase. The same applies to SaaS as well. Every new customer that Salesforce brings in adds value to the old customer, right? Because now they are two, and both of the functionalities which are being built applies to both. Salesforce becomes also the same thing applies where the power is because Salesforce have had these huge enterprise customer like PepsiCo, like Nikon, like huge customers for years and years now. Salesforce understand their problems, their use case like no other company, like new company like Braze or whatever you want to call them, right? They have seen these use cases hundreds of times, right? So I
Right.
think it's a really competitive place. I don't think they'll be able to beat Salesforce at this game for a really long period of time until they do something magical. Because Salesforce have seen these pain points of these enterprise customer for a long time, and these network effects are going to hold Salesforce's value for a long period of time, I guess.
That makes sense. And I guess a related kind of question. So what industries and type of clients do you think benefit most from Marketing Cloud on the
Great.
Salesforce side?
I think this closely resonate to what we are talking about just a minute back is first of all the companies which are highly regulated. The same applies to the compliance because these companies needs to adhere to certain sort of compliance, and Salesforce is very good at it. So highly regulated industries like healthcare, pharmaceuticals is a highly regulated industry. They usually stick with Salesforce, right, and they don't go in to other platforms. And another industry is, I'm going to say industry. Uh, I'm going to say not industries, but organization which want to scale their activities, customer relationship to a phenomenal level at a fast paced speed, they tend to stick with Salesforce because Salesforce is one of the very few platforms who can help them do that. Yeah, I think that's what I can think of.
So when you say scale activities, are you talking about the volume of emails, the amount of touch points, the scoring? Is that what you mean by that? Or
I don't even mean in terms of the channel or the count of emails. I mean in terms of their team, how much innovation they are hoping to bring into their marketing, how
okay,
much innovation how much experimentation they are hoping to do in sales, service, and marketing. Because if you want, if you want to do experimentation, Salesforce is the best place to do, because no matter whoever you are, small company, big company, there is somebody before you who have tried to do that experimentation. Salesforce know it, and by now Salesforce have put that structure in place so you can achieve and get success on that experimentation.
That's interesting. That's good to know. That's good info right there. Um, so I guess, have you had a couple of experiences where your clients, you kind of came in there and they underestimated the value and the power of Marketing Cloud, and then by the time you were done and worked with them, they're like, holy cow, we didn't even know that it could do this, and they kind of came in underestimating it. Oof.
I think it happens quite often. I'm going to say. I think, as I said, right, to connecting to earlier, usually client come to us with a proper plan and with a solid head that we want this. Then we say, relax, let's have a conversation about your business, right? Let's take a step. Then we start to have a conversation around business. Then we chart out the entire plan. Then we talk about what they have been doing, what they want to do now, and we try to find the way in between, right? What else they can, what is better, right? Because in clients' head, the picture look very different, right? It's like, I'm going to give you an example. Clients is going to come to us asking for a flying car. They'll say, I need a flying car, but we tell them we don't need a flying car. They already exist. They are called helicopter, right? So client come up with a problem is fair. They just come up with a wrong solution. So when they come to us, they have a misrepresentation of their problem and how would it be solved, right? And we try to build the right put it into the right framework, and even before we start, they're able to see it. You don't need to complete the work for them to be able to see that it's working out in their favor. Even before we start, when the project plan is on Jira or DevOps, whatever we are using for that client, it's on there. They understand that this is going to work out well for us. So this in this planning phase only, they are able to understand the gravity of Marketing Cloud and what they can offer and what we can offer as a consulting partner. They don't usually need to wait till the end.
So then, when you come into a new client or a customer, do they typically have targets and goals? I'm assuming probably that they want to hit with the implementation of Marketing Cloud. And what are those? Is it mainly opened emails, or what are some like typical like KPIs and goals that they want to achieve when they bring you in? Like kind of the most common ones.
Yep. I think most common ones are usually around conversions, where they want to scale their conversion from, let's say, they have 2% conversions on the email and they want to do it 10%, right? And so that's what they come up with, like a small single statement. We break it down. We talk about how this will happen. It's not going to be like you just change the conversion by here. First, you need to change the opens, you need to change the clicks, you need to change the segmentation strategies, you need to change the entire structure of the emails. You need to have emails which are more visualized. You are using plain static emails. You need to personalize. You are having simple text, HTML based email. You need to have the right forms in place, right landing pages. So for to change this 2% to 10%, there are 100 things which needs to be changed. We have them plan these 100 things and we just pursue them one by one. But at the end, it gets changed. But it happened gradually over a period of time. It's market, things grow slow. Even like IP deliverability takes months to improve, right?
Right.
So yeah, it's a game of patience, I'm going to say. It's not sales, it's marketing.
Yep. That's awesome. And so, how do um things like firewalls, and I know I've done a few Marketing Cloud Pardot implementations where even things change in the network with firewalls and emails getting through corporate emails and things like that. Is that still a challenge out there that's constantly changing, or is that stuff essentially settled down and that's been figured out in terms of how to get valid emails to through firewalls and domains and the whole network side of things?
Great question. Loved it. I think this is one of the reason why Salesforce becomes a really prominent player in the ecosystem, especially for Marketing Cloud, because it held itself, and our consulting partner also helped them, but it held itself responsible for the email deliverability as well. It's not just giving you platform, just go and send millions email. It held itself responsible for email deliverability. So if after the proper authentication, and again, everything starts with authentication, they authenticate the IP, set up DMARC record, SPF, do this entire domain authentication, and after that do the IP warming. Even after that, if some of our IP get blocked, which happens quite often, right? Let's say, and Microsoft is very in
Right.
danger in that regards, right? It
Yep.
blocks the IP if it's a new IP. And very often we work with Salesforce in collaboration with the deliverability team to get the IP whitelisted for our customers. That's on the email client side, Gmail, Microsoft. And the other side is also true, where it gets blocked by a specific corporate domain or their filter, right? Then we need to get in touch with them, ask them to put our IP addresses as a whitelisting, and that's sorted then. So it's a collaborative effort. Best thing is Salesforce is there to collaborate with us, and that sort of makes things a lot easier for us. Versus if we are doing any out there small platform which usually does not have any connections with email clients, Salesforce have really good connection. If you know, there is a out of the box sync between when it comes to the status opt-outs and opt-in between Salesforce Marketing Cloud and Gmail and few other and Yahoo and few other clients. So if somebody opt out, in Gmail there is a unsubscribe button in the header itself,
Right.
not in
Yep.
the email footer, in the header, right? Which as a Marketing Cloud guys, we don't add in the template. If somebody unsubscribe from that also, it gets reflected into Marketing Cloud. This thing does not happen in various other marketing automation platforms out there because they don't have that partnership yet with Google or Microsoft, but Salesforce does. So I think, yeah, you get value for your money right here.
Awesome. Love the expertise. I mean, if I was doing a marketing cloud implementation, I'd bring you in immediately.
Thank you.
So I guess to I guess my last question. It's been going fast. This has been a awesome conversation on marketing cloud in this suite. So where are you going? Where's your agency going? Where's Aman going? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where are you trying to take your agency?
Really tough question. Okay, where I'm taking. I think we want to. I think we have grown quite enough in last couple of years, right? We want to navigate a lot deeper into the Salesforce Marketing Cloud ecosystem. And I think ecosystem, as I said, it's getting harder day by day for Marketing Cloud because of the shift that is happening in the ecosystem, right? In terms of, so my goal for recent goal is to ensure that my team is scaling really, really fast across these platforms because Salesforce is changing, there is growth and etc. And that same applies to me. Every day I'm learning some new platform, new skill set, and we want to again stop being just techie, as I said. We want to be an industry expert. We need to have understanding of industry marketing technology space. That's what I'm pursuing. That's why my team wants to pursue. And once in a while, if I get a break, I go and maybe play some sports and write some book or something. So that's my pastime when I'm not working 8 hours a day. So that's also, I might be doing like, this a lot more frequently in next 5 years or so.
That's awesome. And then, so your agency, the domain, what's the domain again? Like the email, the website address for your
Uh,
company?
my com- my company is called Genetrix Technology. The domain is Genetrix, Genetrix.tech.
Awesome. And then I guess one final thing, because I know, um, we've had some chats on this, and it's an interesting topic. Anything we missed on the marketing cloud side that you want to bring up? Any misconceptions? Any thoughts? Anything you want to add? While you have the floor on the marketing cloud side that you just want the ecosystem or clients or anyone to think about and be aware of.
I think I'm gonna, because this conversation is around Marketing Cloud specifically. One thing I would like to communicate to Marketing Cloud consultant like me, like others, like right, is that ensure that you are on the right side of the industry, that you are the industry expert, you have the industry exposure knowledge, right? Do not please try to be more exploratory when it comes to the business use cases. Try to connect your customers like a partner rather than just an offshore agency or a vendor or something like that, right? uh, do that. And yeah, I think this is a joyful ecosystem. Let's continue the joy within your internal meetings as well, stand-ups as well. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. It was great having you on, Aman. I greatly appreciate it. Sounds like you have an awesome thing going there. It was great talking about marketing cloud and loved having you on today.
Same here. Thanks, John.